Hey, what's going on, people of YouTube? Thanks for tuning in today. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how to improve your improvising, how to incorporate major and minor pentatonic in your playing, and so I thought I'd do a little lesson for you. Just a little update. I know many of you are anticipating the Mary Kay video. I am working on it. It's going to be quite a long video, so it will be coming very soon. And if you want to, go ahead and skip ahead, but first I'm going to talk to you about a few things. So major and minor pentatonic, that's kind of the main scales when you're talking about blues and rock, which is pretty much what I do. And today we're going to be in A minor pentatonic and A major pentatonic. So the intro that I put together is kind of some blues licks that go in between the A major, A minor pentatonic. And there's plenty of videos online that you can go check out that will teach you all the scales. And I really do recommend that you memorize those. It's something that's going to help you for a lifetime. And then I always like to tell you guys what I'm using in the video. So this is a 59 Strat, 11 to 56 about string gauge, and then I'm using a Klon as a really light overdrive, and then a 1959 Tweed Bassman. If you guys dig this video, please like, subscribe, whatever you can do. I really appreciate it. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the lesson. As you all know, I always play tune down half a step. So if you want to be with me, tune each string down a half a step. Otherwise, you could play one fret behind whatever I'm doing. So today we're mostly using A minor and A major pentatonic scales, and it starts in the first position of the A minor pentatonic scale, and that goes something like this. So that's the first position. The beginning of this lick slides up to the root note on the 7th fret. And then sort of a hammer-on from 5 to 7 on the G. And so this is where I'm incorporating a note from the major scale, doing this little bend here. And it creates this kind of dissonance or this kind of mysterious quality to it because you're bending up a half step to that G note, and then letting it come back down to the G flat there. And again, when I'm speaking in these terms, it's as if I'm speaking in regular tuning, but it's just a lot easier that way. But technically, all these notes are a half step down. So that's kind of the idea of the intro lick that I did there. So you're using this major scale within sort of these minor licks that you got going on. And then I'm incorporating it again, doing a little slide. So you're just sliding a half step up. And then doing another slide on the 7th fret of the G string. And then at this point is where I incorporate another major note in the scale, but I do this by doing a bend. So there's 2 slides right there from 7 to 8, and then I'm coming here on the 5th fret of the G string and bending up a half step. Gives you that cool sound, right? Kind of a country vibe going on, but bending up to the 6th fret, which is in the major scale. But, you know, it goes good, especially if you're playing like blues rock kind of stuff, which is what I do. It's right there in the chord of A major. that's the little intro lick, a way to incorporate a couple of major notes in with a minor pentatonic blues lick. But the idea, of course, is not to just be so chromatic with the licks, right? So, of course, I have a lot of people email me about how do they, get better in terms of improvising and, mixing these two scales together in a way that sounds interesting. And being chromatic is usually not the way to do it, but trying to come up with creative ways to incorporate those notes within a minor pentatonic blues lick is kind of the way to do it. So the next part of this lick slides up to the B.B. King blues box area, which is going to be on the 11th fret of the G, 10th fret of the B. And what's interesting is I'm doing this bend up here on the 14th fret, and this is the exact same note as back here on the 7th fret. So we're just an octave up. And so this is a good way to visualize how, ultimately you end up having the same licks in the same positions all the way up the fretboard, but it does give you a different sound. I mean, you may not have noticed at the intro that I'm simply playing the same lick twice. But I'm basically doing the same exact bend. And that's kind of a more complicated thing, but getting into even some notes outside of the typical major minor thing, but essentially walking all these notes down. And adding a little Albert King at the end of that. If you want to give this a try, it's a little bit of a convoluted thing, but essentially hitting these three notes all in a row. And then kind of doing the Stevie thing. So you're hitting the 12 and the 10 and then hammering on to the 11. Sliding back to the 8th fret of the E string. I think I did a big bend there at the end of that. All this here is in the major pentatonic scale. That's all in the B.B. King blues box. Sliding up here, bending up to the G, and then being able to slide it back into the minor pentatonic. And you can do your little blues bend right here, like this is very Stevie bend. Bending up to the root note, a whole step. I think I kind of ended the run again on this major note to try to throw it back in. That kind of gives you an idea of the licks that I was doing, how they kind of flow into each other. And really, if you want to have a deeper understanding and, the ability to know where you are, you've got to memorize those scales. And you've got to know that if you memorize the positions in relation to each other and you memorize where the root notes are, then you can move those scales anywhere on the board, right? So if this is the A minor pentatonic first position, and you know where the root notes are, right? So the 5 and the 7, those are octaves of the A. And you want to play a blues tune in the key of C. Then you move it up to the C position here. And so slowly you start building this knowledge of the scales and where the licks fit inside that. And so it's important that when you learn the licks, you understand where those licks are coming from. And so you understand that the A major B.B. King blues box stuff is all right there, and then you know the Albert King blues box stuff is right there. Slowly, all these things start, evolving into each other, and you make the connections in your head, and you become a better player. But it's something that takes a lifetime to learn. So I hope some of these licks helped you guys today. I do my best to try to share my knowledge, and I know you guys want to see that Mary Kay guitar. It's just tough during the week because I do work, but I'm getting to it as soon as I can, and believe me, it's killing me. I just want to play that thing and see how it feels together, feels and sounds. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all of you. Stay tuned, all right? Peace.